It's deserted and kinda creepy.
People don't come around here often. And not just because of the monsters, but because of the stories.
What kind of stories? I love stories.
Everyone seems to think that the train graveyard is haunted.
Ghost stories? That's even better.
Out there in the dark of night will never, ever find their way back home again.
Is that
They're
right?
both standing there like they're cold.
They're both a little spooked about the ghosts.
Okay.
But you know, it's just...
Maybe Tifa
that's
more than
right.
Aerith.
I was gonna say, it makes sense because she's a physical damage dealer and they're weak to ghostly things, but Aerith can do magic.
Yeah, Aerith is the resident Ghostbuster. Listen, I'm saying if you threw both of them into Luigi's mansion, I know which one would get trapped in a painting and which one would be helping.
Seriously.
It's nothing against Mario that he gets trapped in the painting, you know? It's just that it's not his expertise. You need a brave poltergeist expert like Luigi to deal with the problems.
Luigi.
Mario.
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 God, that game kicks ass. One day I'm gonna go back through on New Game Plus and I'm going to beat Sir Weston. I'm gonna do it.
Got a new weapon for Aerith. Woohoo!
Yippee!
I don't think I've even mastered her previous ability yet, so I don't think we switched to her just yet. Because I think Arcane Scepter was fleeting familiar, which I don't think I've even used yet. So
Bad.
Oh no.
we don't get to use Mithril Rod yet. Ray of Judgment though, check it out.
Ooh, it's pretty.
She shoots a big laser beam.
That's
Very cool, even though the rod itself looks ugly.
Yeah, her ability here, Ray of Judgment, instead it costs 2 ATP. It does you have to have a completely full bar to use it.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's
very
really cool.
powerful. The other thing is, it's the only move aside from Tifa's moves that can increase the percentage that a staggered enemy.
I didn't know it did that.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So if you want to get your stagger percentage really high, you got to have Tifa doing her thing and Aerith doing her thing. That's how you maximize.
And are these like ghost handprints on there?
I don't know. I'm unimpressed with this kindergarten art display though.
You didn't even get a Moogle medal for
Didn't
that.
even get a Moogle medal.
You just did it for the malice.
They bothered to paint them all up and make them special, and they didn't even put anything inside.
Dumb as hell.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You paint up the Easter egg. You don't even put like a Reese's peanut
Man.
butter cup inside.
My mother, like most, or maybe not most, but a lot of parents, like kept a lot of like the stupid art stuff I did as a child.
Yeah.
And it's like I always see like a little planter vase that I like painted on. I'm like, man, I suck. That's garbage. I just want to throw it out. I've threatened to throw it out several times. She's like, don't you dare.
What was that?
It's important to her.
It's garbage.
It was a weird feeling for me to like icky
Ghost.
to go through and like throw away my old art projects. But I definitely was like, I don't care. Like I'm not hanging up my own childhood artwork.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
that's weird.
Uh-huh.
I took pictures of this, like the some of it that was interesting at
Sure.
least, but it takes up a lot less space to just have a picture of it in my mind than it does to like continue to store the multiple like big
Yeah.
plastic containers.
That's the
get
thing is when we were moving,
I think I just heard a little
I was clearing out a bunch of stuff, and a lot of it was old stuff I had. And it's like when my mom wasn't looking, I would just like pick it up and like go and throw it in the garbage can. 'Cause
I love that exchange right there. Sorry, not the, but Tifa was like, "Do you guys hear a kid?"
Yeah.
And Cloud doesn't care at all. Why would there be kids out here right now? and then that just scares Tifa more. What? But I don't normally open up the enemy intel because it takes a long time to load these pictures of these guys. But I wanted to show this dude because he's a freak.
He
Awesome.
is.
Love that guy. Yeah, you'd think those are like mandibles, but they're horns.
Oh.
Well, but they have like they have little clamps like they are, or little points like they are mandibles.
You could, if you just like filed those down, that could be a pet.
I think you're overly ambitious when it comes to these things, Joey.
Well, he's like a little puppy.
Uh-huh.
Just look like a. Well, you've seen dogs that have like human faces. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know. Yeah, I know. What
no,
you're
there are dogs.
No.
There are dogs that like. There's certain breeds of dogs that just like. You look at the wrong angle, and it's like that's just a dude. Like that's. I'm not calling. It just the face. Oh my god. Let me see if I can find some pictures. But it's like there are some dogs. It's like oh that's a cute puppy, and you say it's like that's just a guy. That's bruh. My cousin has a dog named Duke, and he's like that. Like he's a cute little thing, but like that's just a guy.
Okay. While you're finding that, you have reminded me of like a skit I saw.
What's that?
Oh,
That's the guiding light from when I was dancing with Andrea to tell me when to hit the buttons. There's gonna be a Thriller dance number out here any second now.
there was a like.
Jake, I'm gonna have to send you this photo just so you can see, so that you can post it for the viewers. This is,
Oh, I see.
This is
I
what
do
I'm talking
see
about.
What you mean.
It's the eyes.
Yeah,
like, look at the eyes.
it
Like, that's just a
100%
dude.
is. I don't. I see what you mean, but I don't. There's got to be a different way to describe that. That's like glowy.
It is glowy.
Ah, more of those things.
What is happening out here?
Oh, there's just some stuff.
Just guys being dudes.
Comedian sketch where he's like, white people have gone too far in their communion with nature. Like, they'll just make anything pets. And talks about going over.
We got a ghost. We got a rat.
I like the. Is it a unicorn?
Looks like a pig unicorn.
Okay.
That's
That
awesome.
kind of looks like one of the little floating eyeballs from the reactors, but I think it's actually an eyeball with wings, with a little like flame above
or
it.
something. Yeah.
And there's a ghost with like a ball cap on. That guy's got
That
a lollipop.
I like that guy.
They're Bing Chilling. They're just doing their thing.
Bing Chilling.
I'm broadly unimpressed with this artwork. I gotta admit.
Yeah, it's not great.
I think that whoever is drawing these things, ghosts, children ghosts,
But
I think they could put in a little more.
But I think the
effort.
fact that they're using like neon chalk or whatever adds to it.
Oh,
There was only one gill in the chest.
more stuff.
I shouldn't have said anything. Now I talked shit and now they're on to me. Also, hey, look, there's an Abstab Luke.
It is. There he is.
It's like almost directly Nabstub Luke. I don't know if that's a reference or not, but it looks exactly like Nabstub
It
Luke.
really is. Like, the arms are the only thing that's different. Where'd they go? Did they just go? Man,
They go straight up the ladder the second the combat encounter finishes.
Interesting.
They knew
not
there was only
having
one
it.
gill in that chest, but they didn't bother to tell Cloud. They were like, if he wants to get juked out by the ghosts, that's his business.
I mean, that's still like $1, right? I don't know what the exchange rate is.
Who knows?
Is
Hard
a
to
gill $1 or like a quarter?
say. I don't know.
Regardless, I think it's worth it.
We don't like buy real world things in Final Fantasy most of the
Yeah.
time.
That's
You know,
a
like we
problem.
don't go and buy a banana for $10. So it's hard to.
We need to start paying attention to signs
Hard
to
to
see how
calculate.
much.
But anyway, we
a
went ahead
beer
and
is.
used the other move that Aerith has, her fleeting familiar. She summons a little butterfly. And basically that butterfly just throws out an additional attack whenever she does any kind of attack.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, her basic attacks and her magical attacks or ATB attacks like Sorcerer's Storm, the butterfly just shoots out an additional supplemental attack.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's... I think a lot of people tended to forget about that move because you get to spend ATB on it for like a long-term, relatively low passive support thing. They changed up how it works in Part 2, and it's not an ATB move anymore. Instead, you get it whenever you successfully detonate her little mine on an
Okay.
enemy. She just gets it.
Cool.
Which also encourages you to use the mine more often.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The mine also detonates a lot faster in Part 2.
Yeah,
so it's
most-
just in general, she like they were like, okay, people didn't quite get it. Let's just streamline her a bit.
Yeah.
Most folks aren't freaks about turrets like me, so anytime there's anything in a game that fires alongside of you or auto fires or you deploy it and it uses, no matter how garbage it is, I'll always use it.
Aerith like becomes a turret like as a character in Part 2. She gets additional like in addition to just her like double the spells wards, she gets additional wards that is like just stand in here and just kill
Just
everything.
Do stuff. Stop trying to convince me to play that game, Jacob.
Yeah, you'll play it eventually.
I will. There's too many JRPGs to play.
And they're too long.
Yeah.
I was gonna say speaking of turrets, but I'm gonna hold the thought about that I had about turrets until just a second from now, because in 2 moments, Nathan Drake is going to fall through the rusty section of the red train down inside, just like another game we played.
Huh? What is that?
Whoa!
And they died. That's the end of my story.
That's the end of
Cuts back to Barrett. He never knows what happened to him.
You okay?
All good, I think.
Still in one piece here, too.
Stories you didn't know about media from your childhood. They actually died in this scene, and the rest of the movie, it takes place in his brain as he's dying.
There's a pretty big theory about that for Final Fantasy VIII specifically. There's a whole, like, that the main character dies a quarter of the way into that game.
Those are always the most interesting theories, for sure, because everybody always has so much evidence to back it up.
Yeah.
Did you know that Ash Ketchum was actually in a coma? That's why he's forever 12.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so deep.
I think the one that like shook me the most was the like all the My Little Ponies are based on dead children.
That's a thing in Kingdom Hearts later.
Whoa!
That's pretty.
A lot of those had like X eyes. Maybe not a lot of them, just the one that caught my attention. No, there's two.
Well,
What
what
could
do you
it mean?
think?
Go through the ghost gate.
I'm game.
Game to go through the ghost
It'll be
gate.
fine. We've got a bodyguard, don't forget. Mine,
What?
right?
Her bodyguard.
Ghosts aren't my thing.
You're just being modest. After you.
Mind letting me go then?
I can't even handle one woman. How am I supposed to deal with this?
I mean, realistically though, like you cannot defend them like that.
No, it's fine.
Ladies, at some point, we got to move on. At some point, we have to face our fears and fight these ghosts. just like that classic all-time great anime series, Ghost Stories.
Oh, man.
It's time to go. It's time
And
to
then
go.
they just run ahead.
It's time to go swear at some ghosts.
Look, over there.
Oh, there
Where?
was stuff. It
Something was
ran
moving.
across the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
Aerith, slow down. I can't protect you if you're way out there.
You're supposed to be in the back flinging spells.
Found you. Hey, can we talk? Just for a bit?
Whoa. No, that's when you. Yeah.
Get back!
Little spooky guy.
It's just a reference to the ghosts in Sonic Adventure 2.
Joe, you think everything's a reference to Sonic Adventure 2?
It's because it is. Everything's derivative of it.
So these guys, we've seen enemies that kind of do stuff like this before. If you hit them with a lot of physical attacks, they'll cast Shield, so they're immune to physical attacks. You hit them with a lot of magic, they cast Reflect, so they bounce those spells back at you. They also have an ability called Possess, where they can take control of one of your party members temporarily, and when they leave them, they give that party member sadness. I don't think I let anybody get possessed during the sequence. We don't really get to see that. But see, we just hit him with a bunch of sword stuff, so now he's made himself immune to those attacks. But that's fine, because Aerith can still do damage to him.
What does sadness do again? Does it just like lower or increase defense and lower attack? Or?
It increases defense. I think it lowers attack and like lowers the rate at which the limit gauge fills, but it increases defense. I think.
Okay.
I have to double check. It does the opposite of Berserk.
Gotcha.
Pretty sure.
That's the one that's okay.
Seemed friendly, yeah.
Cloud, easy.
Don't.
That thing's dangerous.
Cloud, we need to have a talk about how you use violence to solve all of your problems.
What the?
Ooh.
Spooky.
That is about.
Run!
Yeah. Why did we not see that coming earlier?
We're stupid.
Okay.
Because we're very stupid.
You okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, Cloud. You saved us.
Thank you for not using violence to solve our problems. Thank you for running away instead of trying to cut the train in half.
But that would have been so cool.
It would have been very cool. Maybe there's a whole movie about Cloud cutting very large, improbably large things in half. So it's easy to miss if you don't like make a beeline straight back toward the door. Oh yeah, some gabagoo up there.
Spooky.
As we start heading back toward the way that we came in, it's easy to miss. But as we start heading back this direction, that door is going to close automatically and lock us in here. Let's go. If you take too long on this fight, you just kind of miss it and you don't notice it. If you time it right, Tifa's like running up to the door like no, and then it closes on her. But it's not easy to get correct. But anyway, speaking about turrets a minute ago, I was trying to get to. There were two.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, see, I don't know. I think it's triggered by proximity, and Cloud and Tifa wandered too close. Like you're supposed to finish the fight, and then it happens.
Damn. You could punch the door open, Tifa.
Or Cloud could cut it open.
But it's okay.
Aerith could blast it open.
It is what it is. They only get their superpowers when they're in combat.
This train will be stopping at the Sector 7 slums and is bound for the train graveyard. The train will be... Please stand clear of the closing doors.
I think they should do that for the monorail at Disney World during Halloween.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Stopping soon at the Magic Kingdom. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, attention a las cuentas.
Do that and have the lights like flicker.
Yeah, exactly. Have the whole monorail like shake violently for a second. It'd be really funny, I think. I think people would really get a kick out of it.
Do they still do the not so scary Halloween party? I
have no idea. I haven't been at Disney World in like 10 years.
Yeah, that's fair. I did that one time a long time ago, and I was like, wow, this is kind of cool.
I gotta be honest. I'm not sure I'm going to set foot in that park again until they fix the queuing system again.
So you're never gonna step foot back in that park?
It's certainly possible, but they've overhauled it 3 times since they ruined it, and it's gotten marginally better, maybe a little bit worse. Who can say for certain? The ghosts are trying to direct you to that door, which is locked, and I pre-gamed and didn't think of. No, actually, what I did was
There's no power coming.
I remembered the critical route and I didn't do it quite right. I come back and get the door in a second.
That's funny we're talking about the way they messed up the queuing in Disney World, because literally last night at movie night, one of the friends was kind of talking about it, and 2 of us were like, there's this really neat video.
There's a movie
you can watch on YouTube from Defunctland.
You should put that on the viewing for movie night, honestly. It's a feature film.
It's
a feature-length documentary.
What is it?
It's a Defunctland, which is a YouTube channel that, among other things, covers... it used to be focused very specifically on like closed amusement parks, shut down rides, etc. It's just kind of like historical documentation.
Okay.
Like compiling videos, promotional material, talking about the development of it, whatever else.
Usually the videos being 20 to 30 minutes
Usually
long.
the videos being 20 to 30 minutes long. He got a lot more complicated in the last couple of years as he got a bit more money. And he used to do just like, I'm going to talk about this ride, that ride, whatever. A number of years back when he started getting a bit more ambitious with his productions, and also I think his work got a lot more, less just for enthusiasts and got a lot more interesting. He did... one season that was a history of the World's Fair in the United States of America.
Okay.
The history of early amusement parks in the United States of America, building up to the inception of Disneyland.
Okay.
And also a bunch of early days. Also love the Gothic bangle, a goth chic bangle popular in the more fashionable circles.
Oh my goodness.
Of course they're going to find that here.
Exactly. Gave that to Tifa because she's very goth.
Yep. The suspenders.
It's true.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, of the people who are here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only have 3 options at present moment in time. Anyway, and then I remembered, oh right, I should probably go to the door where it says "Come on" and get juked out. 1 dungeon, 2 dungeons. Used to be 1 screen, 2 screens.
Oh, this is the train graveyard is included in the 2 scenes?
No. This is after the
okay.
sewer. There was a train graveyard, which was 3 screens.
I see. Okay.
It was similarly not as big of a production as it is now. Though I will say, like, it was a little bit of a hassle to get through. It had some weird navigational stuff. You could be here for like, especially if you had some trouble with the encounters and you were a little bit confused about like the progression, you could be here for like 20-30 minutes in the original, even though it was only a couple of screens, because it's just like, what am I supposed to climb on? If you didn't know you could press select and it would point some things out to you.
Yeah, exactly.
But even then, it doesn't necessarily show you like what is goable space, what is and is not ladders.
Keep it together.
But no, unlike the sewer, which they expanded without like adding anything of substance, I like our new little subplot here in the train graveyard. I am one of the 12 train graveyard defenders on the planet.
I just, I'll say my piece later. I don't mind it. I just think it's like just positioning and the pacing of the game.
We'll talk about that later. I agree. There's a discussion there.
Yeah, but going on with the Defunct Land videos.
So a few years back he did a season that was, like I said, it was like World's Fair, early amusement parks, early like there's an episode on like the concept of like electrical parks, which is basically like parks where it was just like you go, it's like a bunch of electric lights is like the main attraction. There was other stuff to do there. There would be amusements. There might be like like animals. There'd probably be there'd be beer, restaurants, other stuff. But like a big part of the appeal was you go there at night and it's just everything's covered in electric lights, and that used to be a pretty crazy thing to go see. And that season like built up to Walt Disney's early career, the production of Snow White, and then into the early conceptualization and development of Disneyland. But so he's expanded and done more ambitious projects in recent years, and he doesn't just do theme parks anymore either. He did like a multi-part thing on like Jim Henson, like his career and Jim Henson Productions.
Okay.
So he does a lot of other stuff now, but he did a few years back I think almost 2-hour long video about the history of like the science of queuing, of managing lines, of managing distribution throughout, managing visitor distribution throughout parks, public entertainment areas, etc. That leads into what was developed for Walt Disney World in the late 90s, the Fast Pass system, which is where you would used to there would be certain rides in the park that you would, when you went up to them, there would be a normal line and a Fast Pass line. Not every ride, but some rides. And the way you would get in the Fast Pass line, I know you went to Disney World once or twice, but I don't know if this might not even be, they might have already gotten rid of this when you went there last, I don't remember. Does this sound familiar to you at all, what I'm describing, or not? Okay, well, still for the audience, I guess. You would walk up and you would put your park ticket into a little kiosk, it would spit your park ticket back out, and it would give you a little slip that said, return to ride this ride at, let's say you did it at, you arrived and you did this at like 9 o'clock in the morning, it says come back at 12:30 for the fast line, right? The idea of this was there's only so many Fast Pass tickets given out in a day, and for example, if there's a new roller coaster that everybody wants to get on, all the Fast Passes might be gone within an hour of the park opening up. But you could get a shorter line going into it later. Now, it's not just like, they only give out so many tickets. It's specifically about distributing people across the park longer periods of time. So before this system was implemented, you had, let's say, your big, what used to be called e-ticket attractions. Back when amusement parks, you had a set number of tickets to go on rides, and an e-ticket would be the most popular type of ride.
Okay.
Like it would be your big roller coasters that have long waits, and your lower tickets would be like Dumbo, flying thing, or the saucers or whatever. This goes back to like the fair days when you would spend money for tickets to go on rides.
And this ride costs 2 tickets, and this one costs 6.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So what used to be a bit of a problem with distribution of people throughout the park was because the popular rides had long lines, people would spend a lot of time in those lines, and the lines on the lesser known rides or the less popular rides would be practically empty because nobody was going on them at all. What wound up happening when they implemented Fast Pass was now it's like, okay, I'm not going to get in this line and wait for 2 hours. I'm going to come back in 2 hours and wait for 30 minutes. And what that means is I'm spending more time getting on the what were traditionally less populated rides, which means the crowds are being dispersed throughout the park more. They're not all congregating around a couple of major hubs.
Okay.
So a lot less congestion, of people in certain areas, your foot traffic has moved out a lot more. Also, again, for the benefit of running the park, spending more time in restaurants, spending more time in shops, just generally distributed throughout everywhere. All of this stuff was done by, we're going to call them engineers, because that's what they are, people whose entire job is trying to understand and predict how people will move in a park.
Okay.
And they figured out, these are the rides that need them, this is the quantity of distribution, this is how we should space all of it out. And they would, as the park evolved, like add one or two more. Okay, this ride that's gotten more popular. Or this one's gotten less popular. We need guys who are doing a lot of math and understand what they're doing are figuring out how to distribute this stuff. Going into the smartphone era,
yes,
Disney decided everything's on smartphones now.
Yeah. So
there was
when I agreed with the Fast Pass thing, it occurred to me that the Fast Pass thing was still there, but we weren't doing tickets. We did it on our phone.
Yeah, so this is the problem. This is a 2-hour documentary, so I shouldn't even try to be summarizing it like this because it's a lot to discuss. But the short version is basically we used to have a system that had a literal physical limitation.
Yep.
And in particular, let's say you came from Japan and you've never been to Disney World before and you just got here. You've never heard of this system before because you didn't do a lot of research. Someone can explain it to you when you get there.
Yeah.
You see, what is this thing over here? Oh, I stick this in and it gives me a time to come back. Neat. Now you need an app.
Yep.
If you didn't know about the app, you don't have it downloaded on your phone. So now somebody's explaining to you, you got to open the app store, you got to download this app, you got to link it with your ticket,
because
whatever.
you don't have a ticket anymore. You have the stupid wrist thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they dropped the stupid wrist thing because they ain't work no more.
Really?
Wait, really?
I'm pretty sure they dropped the stupid wrist things. You've been there more recently than I have, Joey.
Well, they have the. I think they still have it because when I went on the cruise, it was like, "Would you like to buy the wrist thing? It can be used at the parks too." And it's like, no, I don't. And then it turned out that it would have been a complete waste.
Maybe they didn't drop it. I think it used to be like a requirement for a lot of these systems, and it's not anymore. Okay. But basically, the trouble was they started trying to sell like incentives for like the people who were planning this, who were planning fast pass distribution, were not engineers who understood how to control crowds. They were just trying to bring appeal to the app, and so it was like you need to book your trip a couple 1 month before you arrive, you can open the app and you can go ahead and book your fast passes now.
Yep.
What that meant was that all the fast passes for Space Mountain on May 1st are gone on April 2nd.
Yeah.
And if you just got there, you're boned.
Yeah.
If you arrived and you don't know about this system, you're boned. And they tried to like, okay, well, we're running out. And the whole appeal is you need to get this app so you can get fast passes. So we need more. Let's just inflate the number of fast passes we're offering. Let's offer them for everything. Let's offer fast passes for favorable seating for fireworks shows.
They had them even for like fast pass for your like quick service restaurant.
Yes.
Like what is?
So we also had ones where you could reserve for specific princesses at the princess breakfast.
Because they're inflating the number of tickets that these are handing out, and what it's actually done is it has universally increased wait times across the entire park because there are fewer people who can use the other service, and there are more people who have the fast passes who are trying to use the fast pass lines, so the fast pass lines are fuller. And I'm talking over this freaking out cutscene where they're getting attacked and Aerith is just standing here.
Coming to get you?
That was freaky.
Wow.
As they rushed into a tornado around Aerith and she said, "Coming to get you," at that exact moment, the heavens opened up on top of our house and rain started pouring down. That was pretty freaky, actually.
I checked the weather earlier and it said it wasn't gonna rain.
It was like 12 or 15%.
Well, you know what? Can't trust the weather, man.
No.
I love this thing's design.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't. It's icky.
It's sick. I love it. But yeah, no, basically
the texture is giving Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas.
I love the eyes.
Uh-huh.
No, basically,
the hands.
My friend that I was telling us about yesterday, I was like, I'm not going to get into it. What you need to know is that the old system was designed by engineers and the new system was designed by marketers.
Was designed by guys who were told to make an app work after they spent $2 billion on it. And we've been dealing with the attempted patches and fixes of that for like the last 8 years.
Okay.
The only reason they even did a substantial overhaul on it was because of COVID. And they got the opportunity to do a flat reset.
Yeah.
The COVID reset, basically they made it into a subscription service now.
Oh,
So
my
now you
God.
got to pay like $30 a day to have access. That's how they're managing the number of people who are using this thing.
Are you kidding me?
And for
It's
certain
awful.
certain things, it's not even a fast pass anymore. It's like, okay, so if it's like if it's the newest, most popular ride that everybody's trying to get on,
Yeah.
you're not getting a fast pass. You're digitally queuing. Because the lines would be so bad, they don't even want you to stand in line. It's just like
Yeah.
you're gonna show up for your turn on it at this exact time.
Yeah,
And-
one thing with that, one example I want to talk about that it makes me laugh so hard was Mr. President was like, you know, talking about the Star Wars ride, the newest
Rise of the Resistance. That's the one where this thing was really bad.
Yes.
Like, that's where like this was the where this system was implemented the heaviest.
He was bragging about how there were no queue times, there was no lines for
Mm-hmm.
it, and the reason is because if you did not reserve your spot, you
couldn't
couldn't
get in line for it.
And
No,
the way that I know, because I had to do it, this is what you have to do.
You have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and open your app and spam, please give me a spot in the queue, and you got 5 minutes before they all fill up.
Oh, in 5 minutes, Jacob?
Excuse me, 30 seconds?
Less than, yes, 30 seconds. We did it. We woke up at 6:55, and I was like, okay, I'm ready, and could not get it.
I really hope
But
your app
then-
is working.
But don't worry,
my
Jacob.
God.
But don't worry, Jacob. If you missed it the first time at 3 o'clock, it opens up again. Or it was like 3 o'clock or 12 o'clock or something like that. It's like you can try again. And that time we did get it.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was awful. What a horrendous system. Ride's really cool. Horrendous system.
So I haven't talked about how this guy works. We've seen a couple of enemies that can do screeches that stun us. They're usually proximity. This is like basically the entire field unless you're guarding. Similarly
he's
to the other
throwing
ghosts, which will like, you know, say you can't hit me with magic or you can't hit me with physical. This guy will do a total form shift that limits what you can hit him with.
I'll take care of you. You've got this. Okay.
Again, it's been a little while since I've done this, so I can't talk in detail about this guy's mechanics because I shot this months ago. Which is part of why I kept talking about fast passes, because I was like, I can try and remember what Ghoul's deal is, but it's been too long.
He is as discomforting as I find this guy. He does look really sick.
He's sick. I love him.
He looks really sick, dude.
It's the eyes and it's the hands. That's what get it for me. Oh my god, you poisoned
The
them.
eyes,
I
I
can't
think I
believe
can
you
take
actually
or
did.
leave. The hands, I dislike. But it's the like going from this texture to like the space texture when he goes incorporeal. That's wicked. I do. I didn't like how he was lit there.
I'd play Smash Brothers with this guy. I'd be like, hey bro, let's hang out.
The like tentacly, I am finding in my old age, I dislike any sort of like tentacly cord type stuff. It's not it for me.
In your old age.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was rewatching Witcher. I'm still rewatching Witcher.
Oh, here's Aerith's new
Yeah,
move, Ray
let's
of
hit
Judgment.
him with it.
Yeah, and you'll see since he's staggered, you'll see his stagger percentage go up, assuming I can get it off fast enough.
Yeah, is the issue with it, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't worry, but he went on to his next phase. Never mind, we didn't get to see it. But
Awesome.
we get to see her majestic
Yeah.
levitation to shoot her laser
Very
beam.
cool.
You said that problem.
What if Goku was a girl? What if Goku was a Disney princess?
Yeah.
Don't over.
So Witcher, rewatching
Uh-huh.
it. One of the, I think it's the Striga episode. I don't remember what the name of the icky thing that it is called.
Cloud grabbed both of them and threw them out of the way of that explosion because he loves them both.
Because he's cool like that.
Because
Because
he
he loves his-
protect women.
He
Yeah.
loves his weed smoking girlfriends.
All women are queens. Yes, Witcher. I apologize.
You're good. But because it's like this formed in like the womb of a dead woman and then it crawls out and is a demon. It has like the umbilical cord still attached. And like the whole design of the thing is icky. It's meant to be icky. That's the point. I understand that. But the like dangling umbilical cord was just, it was not it for me. Like I don't know if I didn't clock it the first time or if I just like assumed it was like a tail or something. I don't know. But it was very apparent to me on this watch. And I did not like it at all.
Awesome.
It was big icky.
Yeah, Witcher is another one of those one of the classic shows where I'm like, I'm going to watch it when it's finished if it doesn't get screwed up, and then
It got
everything
screwed
happened.
up. Yeah.
And it's like, well, now I don't really want to watch it.
There's more of it out that I haven't seen, which is why I'm rewatching the first season. And I'm enjoying the first season again because the first season's good. And I'm kind of thinking if the stuff that I haven't seen sucks, I'm just not going to finish it. Like, I'm just going to rewatch the stuff that's good. And then if the new stuff is poopy, then I'm just gonna be
there's
like, and now I'm
definitely
done.
There's definitely a place to watch shows that don't have a good ending, where it's like, it's, the first few seasons are really good, but then it falls off. But I'm just not that guy, and I still, it's not fair of me, but
Yeah.
I still, there's a part of me that has a good smug smirk in my heart when I think about Game of Thrones, where it's
Yeah.
like, when that was going on, every single person I knew that
Dude, you
watched it was
gotta
like,
watch
bro,
it."
what do you mean you're not watching? Bro, it's so...
Yeah.
Those people shut up real good after that last season
Yeah.
dropped.
No, I feel the same way because I still haven't. I've seen like maybe an episode or two, like being at other people's houses or whatever.
It's like, if I ever watched it, I'd probably watch like 3 seasons and call it.
Yeah.
But like, but it's also, it's like, well, I just don't want to.
That rain came and went real fast. That was just for dramatic
Yeah.
effect on that cutscene. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Thanks, God. That
My
was very cool.
dad
Yeah,
actually
it's just
watched-
gone.
Yeah, it was
Damn.
evaporated.
That's awesome.
That is what water does eventually.
My dad watched all of Game of Thrones recently, and I was like, so, how'd you feel about that last season? And he was like, I mean, there was a drop in quality, but what do you mean, what about the last season? I was
Well,
like,
I mean,
Dad.
let's be clear about something. That show gets bad like season 5 going forward. That's where they start running out of track.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but that's what I hear from people who like know what they're talking about.
And that was
basically,
kind of
universally.
his take.
You killed the ghost.
Was that the longer it went on, the less good it was, but it's not like, I mean, you're watching TV.
That was fun. All this time, you were waiting for someone to come and play with you.
Because that's what we just did.
What are you talking about?
We just played. We
Kids
weren't,
play
like-
rough. Kids play rough sometimes.
I mean,
true.
I guess.
I got a text from a friend of mine earlier today, and I'm going to read it.
Okay.
The text went as follows: "My children currently being beaten up by my children."
Okay.
Okay.
I said, "Why are they doing that?" My friend said, "Because they're feral."
Great.
That's big if true.
Big if true.
Those who lose their way out there in the dark of night will never, ever find their way back home again. What do you guys think would have happened if they'd caught us?
I wonder, maybe they're the ones who were caught.
Can we just drop the whole...
What if they're trapped here and can't leave?
Wow, we're making this real sad right now.
Mm-hmm.
He only tried to drop that train on us so we'd play with him.
It's true.
That's playing.
Kids don't understand things. Look, they're ghosts. You know, they can do whatever they want to each other. They're like
concept-
Looney Tunes characters
I was
hitting
gonna
each other
say,
with hammers and
yeah, exactly.
blowing each other away with shotguns. It's fine.
We should be able to get
Like, the
through
concept
now.
of death doesn't really work for him, does it?
Mm-hmm.
The
like- it's
concept
like- it's
of
like the-
beating someone to death with a hammer doesn't
It's like the
exist.
tunes. They can only be killed by the dip.
I watched that again on my cruise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, part of the 13 movies I watched on that cruise ship.
It's a solid movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's shocking. You ever seen any of the behind-the-scenes stuff for that movie?
Not really.
What
it's
movie
all-
are we talking about?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, okay.
Because it's all pre-computers, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, it's all
Eh?
it's. I mean, I'm not even trying to talk about the behind the scenes on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Why would I start? I wasted too much time talking about fast passes. And I'm trying to say, speaking of turrets, for about 40 minutes now.
Oh no!
Did
Speaking
you,
of turrets.
Joey? Did you see the Helldivers 2 news? It'd be really funny if it doesn't matter by the 5 months from now when this video comes
Oh
out.
my god, it's very funny.
So Helldivers 2, PlayStation published but released on PlayStation and PC. For a minute there when it launched, they required you to link your PlayStation account even if you were playing it on Steam.
Well, no, that was the thing, wasn't it? It's like, it didn't require it, it just, like, it presented itself as if it was a requirement, but you could ignore it.
And they dropped it because they were having so many server issues at the front end anyway, because it was way more popular than they expected. not only are they re-implementing that you have to, like, not only you can, they're requiring you to link your PSN account if you're playing on Steam. This means two things. Number one, if you don't have a PlayStation account, you gotta make one to continue playing one of the most popular games released this year.
But more importantly,
Some countries don't have PlayStation Network.
that people have been playing. Like, I believe the Philippines is one of those.
Yes.
And so everybody's like, hey, Filipinos, everybody request a refund immediately because you will not be allowed to play this game anymore without, like, a VPN.
Wow.
Yeah.
And by the way, that wasn't the worst PC gaming news this week.
It wasn't?
Joey, did you see the Riot news?
No.
Yes.
It's about to be a cutscene. We'll talk about it after this cutscene.
We're through.
Great. Let's head outside.
Basically, teaser, Riot's bricking computers. We'll come back to that later.
Aww.
Oh, it's a different ghost.
Girl?
No, go back to the ghost form. That's cooler.
Hey, wait, don't we...
Marlene?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that kind of shape-shifting. That's disturbing. Don't do that.
The kids that the Black Wind carries away have to live in the train graveyard forever and ever. So you have to stay far, far away from there.
All right then, I will.
Oh, you know Betty? Yesterday, she went with her daddy to... When is Daddy coming back?
Actually, he might not make it home tonight.
It's weird seeing her hands.
Yeah,
without
she
gloves.
looks naked without the gloves on.
We can't waste any more time here.
I don't know about that, Tifa. I
was
see
that
a
about?
bench.
Nothing you need to worry about. Let's get going.
So Joey, Riot recently, the anti-cheat software they use for Valorant,
Okay.
they recently basically said if you have any Riot client installed, League, their fighting game, anything else, auto installs that anti-cheat software, and something about how it interacts with Windows 11 is bricking computers.
It is deleting your System 32 file.
There we go. Thank you. I didn't remember the details.
God,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You play League? Not anymore.
They're honestly doing the players a favor.
Exactly.
Yes.
They're trying to cure people of the brain disease.
That is absolutely
that's,
the joke.
That's hot.
Yep.
That's good.
They're trying to help out. Riot's made their money, and they're saying now it's time for us to pay you all back.
Yep.
It's time to help you all out. It's
Yep.
time to fix this problem we've created.
That's
Yes.
so fun. It's you see stuff like that. It's like how. It's when you got a company as big as Riot. It's like how did this happen?
Yeah.
How did people not figure this out before dropping it? That's funny. That's spooky.
It is spooky. What's going on way over there?
Whoa. What is
There's
that?
like explosion. That's not the pillar, is it?
Sure looks like the pillar to me.
Oh, heck.
Ah, jeez.
Oh, a turntable. I remember these from my Thomas the Tank Engine playsets when I was a child.
I used to love trains.
Everybody used to love trains.
It's a good thing that I still like trains because we live near train tracks, and I hate.
Yes, you think yourself as you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm close.
I love
I
trains.
love trains.
No, dude, for real. Like the other night, a train was coming. I was like, now I will sleep better because I'm a freak. I'm a weird-
You are.
I
I
am.
lived in 2 apartments during college close to trains, and I despised it.
We also talked about recently on streams that Joey's in his new house, the breaker box is in his bedroom, and it's always got a slight low hum on. So I guess when the trains come by, when the trains
Oh yeah.
come by,
Oh, you didn't hear about that? Yeah. What's even better is it wasn't like that before. A bitch ass like inspector. No, I don't know who he is, and it's better I don't because if I do something, I might do something illegal. Because basically the possession.
Oh, it did get possessed. Crazy.
Anyway, he came to the house and was like, the current location's no good. It can only go in this boy's bedroom.
Oh my god.
So
Joey, give yourself some credit. In this man's bedroom.
Well, he didn't know. He went into my room and saw I had games and was like,
Video games.
Child.
But
Child or brain disease.
exactly, maybe both.
It's got
No,
got the penis in it. You'll get the brain disease.
No, I don't even hear it now though. It's like it's completely on. No, the real reason that he's a bitch ass is because, dude. Okay, so the people the electricians we had over were like they were fairly new, but they were like friends of the family. It's like they knew what they were doing, but it was a new like setup company, but they knew what they were doing. But dude, basically like inspector, like the job was a little bit longer than they thought it was going to be. And it's like, okay, well, we got to, come over Friday so we can turn the power. You have to approve it so we can turn the power back on.
Yes.
And he said, I don't work for you. I do what I want. Like, I will come when I want to come. And because of him, I was without power for the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I'll come back Monday.
Inspectors are absolutely like that. I don't.
I've been
miss having
trying
work
to
with them
get.
at all.
I've been asking around. I've been trying to get his name, and I haven't gotten it yet. But when I do, I'm going to be very annoying to him. I was joking about being illegal. Nothing I'm going to do is illegal, just annoying.
Improvised trolling device, as they
I
say.
will not be. I will not be doing that.
You should be able to look at like the records of your inspection and find that out.
Exactly. I'm still trying to.
Okay.
Pisses me off, and I'm going to find. I know how to get his home address. and I'm
not doing anything illegal.
I'm not doing anything illegal, but he may see an influx of spam mail.
Do you think these trains might still run?
Could give it a try.
We've got a classmate that all of us love and adore, who's recently had a pretty messy breakup, and a few of us got dinner outside of class, and the topic of rolling that particular X came up, and it hasn't happened, and I don't think it will. But a couple of classmates are very invested of like, all you have to do is just like give us a street address, and you don't have to be involved. I'm just saying that if you find out that he has mashed potatoes in his front yard and a whole lot of toilet paper.
I think that's...
Plate separation code is... Got it. Yeah, of course I do. We can got the damn thing whenever. It's just that...
You got a death wish or something? Because I sure as shit don't.
What's happening? Do we have a problem?
Not really. Small arm fire from some local boys trying to defend the pillar.
No, it would be here. Sending reinforcements. The more players that take the stage, the better.
So that's what we are.
Contact me when the mission is complete.
Tifa.
They're really gonna drop the plate.
They won't if Barrett and the others have anything to say about it.
All we can do now is keep moving.
Please let us be in time.
Okay, well then let's go.
We're going, don't worry. And one thing I will say, not to mitigate, our we gotta get moving here. I think it's, so in the original we had like moved trains around to climb over them. This next bit like most closely resembles what the original 3 screens of the train graveyard looked like.
Okay.
What I find very funny is they were like, let's turn on the train and see if we can get it to move. Like that, maybe it'll still work. And they turned it on, but the train didn't actually, even though there was power because the radio was working, it didn't get moved by the train.
No.
The ghosts came to help us out as thanks for playing with them earlier and made a ghost tornado to push the train. Like us turning the train on, I don't think had anything to do with it.
No.
That or just, I don't know, the way that Shinra engines work is really wacky and it uses a lot of like weird combinations of wind materia or something.
Why am I not surprised?
So if they're sending like helicopters, is it not going to be like fairly apparent that it was intentionally dropped?
Well, they control the news.
True. They can just say Avalanche did it.
So
The-
so the reason that those guys' boss said the more people take the stage, the better, is because they're literally like, well, there's a bunch of guys down there with guns on the pillar.
Yeah.
See, they're gonna blow up the pillar.
These helicopters are there to
That's why
stop
we're
them.
blowing up the pillar.
That's why we're here to stop them.
Nice.
They're the terrorists are trying to blow up the
Would you look
pillar.
at that?
Yay.
I will say this. One of the so a lot of people complained. We talked about because we watched the first hour of the original game. One of the like we talked about how in the original our bomb blew up the reactor the way that it goes, and that was how it was meant to be. And in Remake they changed it to soften it a little bit. We were just trying to blow up the pump, and then it was a false flag operation that much damage occurred. So some people felt like that was basically they pussed out. Oh, they thought the characters wouldn't be likable enough if they did the whole thing, or I don't know.
They were real terrorists.
Somebody said something about 9/11. I don't know. What I think is that with some of the new threads they've added about their deliberate false flag operations to boost like public desire for a renewed conflict with Wutai. In the original game, when this happens, it reads like a comical overreaction to killing 6 guys in a bar.
Okay.
It's like this. This feels like let's be very clear. It's dramatic. It's bad. Like they're gonna kill a lot of people. We gotta go stop them. Like it's still the same crisis that we're having right now. We find out from Corneo. We're rushing through the sewers and then the train graveyard to get there.
Is he on the other side of the fence?
Yes, this is very funny. He lands on the other side of the fence and I can't hit him with anything.
Awesome.
If I had had lightning because it comes down from above, I could have hit him. But fireballs and ice have to fly direct line of sight, so I can't get him.
They can't go through a chain.
They can't go through a chain link fence, but Tifa's punches can. Yeah, I was not equipped for these guys at all. These guys are weak to wind, and I didn't have any wind magic equipped. This fight did not go well. But no, like it is still like a major like after our diversion with Aerith, this is the moment of like, okay, now the whole gang, Aerith now added, is rushing back to meet up with Barrett, and we're all going to stop. Originally we had been attacking Shinra. Now they're counterattacking, and we're rushing to to stop them, right? In the original game, it was still an extremely effective dramatic beat, but it read as I'm not gonna say it read wrong. I'm not criticizing the original game. I'm saying I like the extra layer they've added here of like there is we have established a motive for them to want a huge false flag operation to say they did it.
Yeah.
Those guys did it. Let's go start a war because we remixed things how things worked a little bit from the original game. Joey was talking about pacing earlier. We introduced that the plate is under attack, and then we go through a side plot about ghost kids trapped in the train graveyard.
Yeah.
It's maybe not the best place to put this dramatically. What they've tried to do, I think, in my estimation, is that I think they're maybe hoping with all of Tifa's like, are they really gonna do it? I think maybe they were hoping that new people who didn't know that we were 10 minutes away from seeing small arms fire from the pillar might think, for some reason, they would think this plot point hadn't been introduced because it was a bluff.
Yeah.
And so they would be able to engage more dramatically with the ghost stuff. I personally, I don't think it's that bad. Some people have said that the pacing of Remake is abysmal.
It's not that bad. It's just I think for me it's kind of like the cutscene problems you have with 16, where it's like, okay, we're in a rush, but as soon as the cutscene starts, everybody's chill.
Yeah.
It's like we need to be I feel like you could still have the train and graveyard stuff. But
you can up the tension.
There needs to be
a lot.
There needs to be a real sense of urgency.
You need. It's about the kids wanting us to play with them. There needs to be a scene of us walking toward the exit and the ghosts appearing and tugging on our sleeves, come back inside.
Yes.
And then when we buzz off, Cloud says and pulls his arm out, then they drop a train on us or something like that, right?
Instead, yeah, exactly.
You can present it a little bit differently. I agree.
That's my only real complaint with it. When I say real, you know what I mean. I think it's fine. It's not even something that I was really giving negative marks to. It was just well, this could have been handled better.
I also between that crossfade on the oh, do I do it here? I forget. I guess I didn't. Oh no, I'm opening up to look at my respec. I respect between crossfades of sitting down at the bench because I'm so clever with my editing. Wahoo!
Wow.
Because we've got a boss fight.
There's
coming
exactly one materia I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah, I know the material you're looking for. Folks, before you go into this next fight, make sure somebody has steel.
It's the only time in the entire game that steel matters.
Subversion is also important here. Subversion lets you undo defensive spells on an enemy. So if someone has cast Reflect on themselves, you can use Subversion to destroy
That's
Reflect.
freaking cool.
Now, in the take that I wound up using, I unfortunately didn't get around to getting rid of this enemy's Reflect until around the time that it was about to fade away anyways. I didn't get to use it super effectively, but it is a good thing to have on this fight because this enemy can cast Reflect on themselves.
There. Come on.
Right.
Aerith!
Okay. Why are we staring at the ground?
Because Aerith disappeared.
Wouldn't we stare up into the air where she...
The kids that the Black Wing carries away have to live in the train graveyard forever and ever.
Maybe she clipped through the floor. Maybe they know they're in a video game and they're afraid the bugs have finally caught up with them.
Oh no.
You're just trying to help, aren't you?
I really don't know that they are.
You're the one who...
Are you ready? Well, are ya? I'm ready now. Me too. Found you. No way. We found you.
You got me. Hey, where's Aerith?
Oh?
I'm ready.
Oh, she was so
I'm
cute.
ready.
And she's always had good taste in boots.
I
Yep.
said I'm ready. Come get me. I'm right here. Mom?
Aerith!
She's?
Hey, we found you.
I guess you did.
Is that the... No. Never mind.
What are we gonna say?
I was gonna say, is that the speed guy? But it's not
No,
the
it's
speed
not. It's not. It's not Roche. No.
That would be very funny.
Let's go.
That would kill the pacing.
Get him!
So this guy was originally just a potential rare random encounter you could get in the train graveyard. Here, his role has been elevated a little bit. If we assess him, and also if we just pick up on our context cues so far, It is the manifestation of memories and sorrows that linger in the train graveyard. It feeds on human fear to grow stronger.
Wow.
This thing has been grabbing the souls of dead kids and keeping them here.
Icky.
Just for fun.
Hit it with wind attacks when it's in the air to fill its stagger gauge. Unleash a leaping attack to knock it down to the ground. It's going to fly around up above us a little bit. The main thing to note about this guy, other than it's good to be able to defeat it when it has a clear reflect off of it, it has a weapon for Aerith that you can only get if you steal from it. Back in the old days, weapons were just different stats. Wasn't that big of a deal. This guy had a unique weapon you could steal for Aerith, and it was like, if you miss it, whatever. Unless you're a completionist freak.
Is it his? Can you steal his weapon?
No, it's not his. It's not his staff.
Aw, that one's dope.
It does look kind of cool.
It's like twice the size of Aerith, but I think she could pull it off.
So you want to, but in this game, obviously, weapons have moves. So if you miss stealing this staff from him during this fight, you miss an Aerith move permanently.
Okay.
So
steal.
Put steal on Tifa because she's got the highest luck stat. You've probably got a luck material or two by now, so put those on her as well. It just ups your chance of the steal hitting. So you got to waste fewer turns trying to land that steal.
Legitimately like the only fight in the game that has anything worthwhile.
This is the only fight in the game that has at least has a unique missable item worth stealing.
Okay.
There are fights that have stuff that's worth stealing on. In fact, the next boss fight we're gonna do, I'm going to be stealing stuff. There we actually got to see her beam raising his stagger percentage.
This guy's very cool.
He is very cool.
Ooh.
Eligor, that's who I'm using in Persona 3 right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, he'll cast Reflect on himself at the beginning of this phase. If you have ATB ready to go, like if Aerith's ready to shoot a bunch of spells at him, you got to be able to get Reflect off of him.
Gotta deal with the barrier first.
Right now, Cloud's the only one with ATB. He's the one with I think he's the one with the barrier with the subversion materia. See, Aerith can't even hit him with the normal with her normal attacks right now, which means only Cloud and Tifa can get to him by jumping up to him, which means it can be a little bit hard to deal with him during this phase, unless you're ready to
hit him with
cast Breach.
subversion.
Which I didn't have enough ATB to be able to shoot more spells at him immediately afterwards. You can see like the gray indicates like it's a ticker of like the status effect fading away. By this point, it's already almost gone. So casting Breach on him really didn't do anything, unfortunately. This is another fight I did several takes of, and on other takes I got him right away and hit him with spells. This one just didn't quite work out that way. The other thing is this guy moves around a lot, and he's weak to yeah. They got all that going on too. I talk over him while he's doing cool stuff because I'm trying to get my speeches out, and I should probably time these things a little better.
That's fine.
He doesn't like wind magic, but you may recall wind magic like ice needs to like hit and detonate, and he's moving pretty quick, so it's a little bit hard to hit him with magic. You got to time your casts just right.
I'm trying, but
And he can also silence you and put you to sleep with that beam that he has. Which isn't great if Aerith gets silenced, but whatever.
Yeah, it's probably the worst thing that can happen to her.
Because we all love listening to Aerith talk. She's so cool. We like hearing what she has to say.
True.
Anyway, after that, there's actually a lot of blue coins that you can spray.
Shut up, Jacob. Joke for nobody. So what is that weird like effect in the sky that I keep seeing?
That indicates that's summon.
The thing you refuse to use.
The thing I'm not using. That's correct.
Bastard.
Or maybe he's weak to ice, not wind. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's one of the ones that takes a second to detonate. So you have to get him when he's standing still. Now, this guy's a little bit difficult to attack because we stole the bladed staff from him. His wheels are not like hitboxes; they're solid obstructions. So if you hit him from the left and right, you just bounce off. So you gotta hit him from the front or the back. Yeah, right there. She bounced off because we hit his wheels. So yeah, he moves around a lot, so it's hard to hit him with the ice spells that he's weak to. And when he is standing still, you have to be hitting him from the right angle. This guy can be a little bit troublesome.
We should have had a Kingdom Hearts press triangle to throw it back at him.
Alright.
I think it's crazy how much effort they put into these little, like, fight transition cutscenes.
So cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so you can use that shipping crate as cover for like his I-beam attacks and stuff. But eventually he throws it across the map and it can hurt you, and after that it's expelled from the fight.
Oh, so in this phase,
during this phase, you can damage the wheels, and damaging the wheels will pressure him.
Cool.
Or destroying the wheels will pressure him. Which is during here when he's doing this long, spinny, running around thing. This is where it's good to be able to hit his wheels with a spell, but unfortunately you can't hit him with Blizzard. I should have come in here with one person with fire on, specifically just to chip away at the wheels during this. Oh, I did. Look at that. This is my 17th take, so I remembered what I was doing. But unfortunately, the left wheel is on the opposite side of him, so I couldn't actually hit him with that spell.
Yeah, regardless, it really... I remember when this game was coming out... I mean, we talked about this before. When this game was coming out, I was like, they're just going to ignore like a lot of the weird enemies and whatnot, and then obviously they didn't. And it's really neat to see things like this one's not really a weird one. It's cool to see this thing that was just a random encounter that was a cool design getting a real... Like,
this isn't as memorable off the walls as Hell House, but it is a similar situation where it's a thing that some players might never have even seen, but other players might have seen and remembered it as being noteworthy. And here it's given like an entire new story purpose, where previously it was just a crazy disabled horse that was in the train graveyard, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Something that was just, you know, like a few blocks away from the residential district.
No need to panic.
Hey, listen, it's crazy out here in the slums, man.
It really is.
So yeah, I think I did get to show off refocus finally during some of the previous episodes in the arena. But yeah, refocus is you have to have a specific materia equipped, and instead of using your normal limit break, you can use a limit break that it doesn't do any damage, but what it does is it partitions your ATB gauge into three separate things that fill up at the same rate as the normal ones. So you get to use a move in about half the time of how you normally would, and you can stock up a total of 3 moves. In the second game, it's no longer a limit break you have to have materia equipped for. They did keep refocus, but it's a much easier mechanic to use. It's not like a cheap thing to get. You can just get it instantaneously, but it is something that players will probably use on accident, even if they don't know about it. Whereas with the refocus materia, I bet a lot of people beat this game and didn't know what it did.
Yeah.
Because you got to have it equipped and get a limit break and not use the other limit break.
And that's the thing is, like, you get limit breaks so infrequently in this game. It's like a lot of times it's like, well, I just want to do the cool one.
Don't think you'll walk away from this.
Or just do the classic move of, I'm going to do... I don't know, I guess with the way, the problems of limit breaks in this game when it comes to, like, different phases, I guess doing one like this that does give you just a buff throughout the fight would be advantageous over them. Because it's like, well, I'm not going to waste it by doing this at least.
Yeah.
But, you know, but most gamers aren't gamer-brained like that. They see, I want to do cool attack.
Yeah.
I was like that. But it was also one of those things where it was like, I just want to see the animation because you get like 5 limit breaks, it felt like. I know you don't, but it's like, they were so infrequently that it's like, well, I just want to see the cool move.
Sure. There are accessories that you get later. We're gonna get one not during our recording session today, but like probably during the next recording session. I think we're gonna get an accessory that that makes it so that like every time you use an ATB charge, it fills up your limit gauge a little bit. Which means you can, like, you put that on one party member and you can get limit gauge and stuff really fast.
That's pretty cool.
Also, while I was getting some supplemental footage, I was using my level 50 maxed out hard mode save file to jump around between save files with my level 50 characters, and I went to easy mode so I could do stuff quick because I just wanted to get some cutscenes. And I booted it up and I was like, oh right, Barrett has his limit gauge completely full at the beginning of every battle because beating the strongest optional boss that's only available in hard mode gives you an accessory that just your limit gauge is full at the beginning of every battle.
Sick.
That's really sick.
That's a fun reward. Obviously nothing to use it on at that point, but whatever.
It was very useful for me going back through to get footage. It's like, oh, this fight may take me 40 seconds. Now it takes me 5.
It's your turn now.
Strike hard and fast.
Hold on, guys. We're coming.
And you can go to hell.
Oh.
Sheesh.
All right.
When Cloud brings up his sword behind his head, it
looks
like her ponytail's
Yeah.
flipping out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's that ghost.
It's that dog.
It's that blue hedgehog again, of all places.
They're all free now.
Yeah.
We got rid of them. They can return to the live stream.
Yippee!
So long.
Okay, but y'all need to get going.
We do need to get going. So we'll find out a little bit more about Aerith's background in the coming episodes
Okay.
that are going to help with that scene we had immediately beforehand of her seemingly being abandoned somehow. But I will talk about one thing. I learned something interesting listening to a podcast about this game's localization. In Japan, hide and go seek is more of a call and response thing like Marco Polo. You know, here we count down and you hide and you're not supposed to be able to find, you know,
Right.
don't say anything. Apparently in Japan, you call out and say, I'm ready. So you gotta hide really good.
That's weird.
Because then they can tell what direction you're in.
I say that seems too easy.